Gymnastics Ireland, or Irish Gymnastics as it was when I joined it in 2006, we had about, I'd say, 3 or 4 years work to do to kind of get the basic kind of company structures in place across the board, everything from administration, education, policy and welfare, performance and technical, marketing, events, everything across the board. We kind of spent 4 years building the foundations of what we believe is an organisation that can drive the development of the sport, and it had always been a target for us in 2011 to launch our marketing events kind of function within the organisation, and we knew that we had a lot of good stuff to kind of get out there and sell and start to drive and develop the sport, but we knew that we needed to rebrand essentially to have a very strong identity, I suppose an identity that we felt now fitted with the sport, what we were, what we see the sport as internationally. So across the world, there's a much more developed understanding of gymnastics, and we're very much aware that that's kind of the process we're engaging with now in Ireland. Is we've spent 4 or 5 years developing an organisation and programmes that can kind of develop the sport internally for us and also externally, and now it's our job to kind of drive and essentially market the sport outside our bulk of 12,000 odd members, and so the rebrand was seen as a very key part of that whole strategy. We saw a need to develop a commercial kind of outlook on our sport, and obviously you constantly, sometimes you're hitting your members all the time, and you don't want to be doing that. You want to be offering your members the participation and the value within the sport. At the same time, there was a real, as I said earlier, a real lack of understanding, I think, of our sport and what it could do for other sports. It's very well established in most top sporting nations. There's a gymnastics program is a core part of the education program, or sometimes military training. It's much more established than it is in Ireland. So we saw this kind of program as a coaching education resource to train coaches from other sports in basic gymnastics training techniques. We saw it as number one, big commercial for us. Number 2, it would increase awareness amongst other sports of our importance in terms of sports development, and I don't say that lightly, because there's a hell of a lot of research out there that backs up kind of what we're saying. It's included within the resource that we've developed, and kind of thirdly, then it will have the potential to improve the performances long term of athletes in all sports, no matter what level they're participating in. Swim Ireland, who featured in our promotional video for Gym Edge, we have, even just at the promotional video shoot, we were having very interesting discussions about potential projects that we feel that we can partner up on in the future and all the rest. So without a doubt, it's something that I think would be value for money, whether the money is being invested by the NGB or it's coming essentially directly through public funding through the Sports Council, and putting of resources. We all have now, well, many of the sports are kind of pushing towards a more professional setup, so there are resources there that can be combined in terms of market and all the rest. And then numbers, we all have membership bases. We are all looking to spread the ethos of how great sport is and all the rest, so pulling together there's more numbers involved as well. Without a doubt, when you step away from the actual sports aspects, what we're all doing are the same things. We're administration, we develop education resources, we look after areas such as policy and welfare, which are, the way we look at it ranges from everything from governance right the way through to child welfare, anti-doping and all the rest. So we're all doing the same things, and I think without a doubt in the last number of years there has been a much greater emphasis, also from the Sports Council, I suppose, in the sharing of resources and sharing of information, and I think that without a doubt going forward, these are things that if we can pull together, they will make less individual headaches for us. And obviously there's a lot of pulling power out there between the various sports bodies and the very large numbers involved. And I think the work that the Federation and the Irish Sports Council have done over the last number of years in publishing various kind of studies and documents that of the fact that sport is an industry, and that doesn't mean to say that you can't have volunteerism involved, and I think people seem to see the two things as conflictual, whereas I see them really as mutually inclusive. We are we're value to the economy. We have huge numbers. We're valued to the health service. You know, the list goes on and on and on. And I think that the only way to really drive that message forward and get it beyond the kind of typical sports borders into the kind of mentality of the general public is to come together and to kind of, you know, really preach that from kind of, I suppose, one voice, so to speak. The thing that I would really like to see is that sport isn't, you know, discounted so easily as in the federation. Sport management campaign, something that just happens. It doesn't. There's a hell of a lot of effort, a hell of a lot of resource, a hell of a lot of money that's pumped into it. At the same time, then there's equally as much return, if not more, for the investment that's put in. So it's good value for money, good value for time, and it's, of course, sport drives health, in my view. So.